it!
There are some places in this world
I can't see you back there,
where a pretty girl should never walk alone
but I can feel you.
unless her name is China O'Brien.
She's one of them chop suey fighters.
Once, she was a big city cop.
Reconsider.
Now, she's on her own, heading for the most dangerous place of all, the place she once called home.
China!
Dad!
Some changes around town since you've gone, China.
I'll never touch a gun again.
Where she learned to love, where she learned to fight, where she watched them kill her father. Now, she means to clean up his town in her own way, with a little help from her friends.
We'll have to remind him where the power is.
She's out to stop crime, cold, and teach the killers a lesson they'll never forget. She's one girl who fights as good as she looks. Cynthia Rothrock is China O'Brien.
You blew it! You blew it! You blew it! You blew it!
Welcome to You Blew It. This is the show where we watch turd sandwiches in HD so you don't have to. Reliving our childhoods one Blu-ray disc at a time. I'm Roden, joined as always with Camaro Kev over in the corner. What's up?
What is happening?
Here in the Roden Family Fun Center.
Yes.
And, man, not from my childhood, this one. I don't think this is the first China O'Brien movie I have ever seen.
Well, first of all,
First Cynthia Rothrock movie I've ever seen as well. Yeah. Gotta say, dude, she is tremendous.
Cynthia's awesome, dude.
Not bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
Acting could be left to,
but not as bad as other stuff, dude.
Yeah, no, that's true.
She could hold her own,
but her moves are like incredible, dude. Like,
she's good.
It's funny. So I was so blinded when this came out. Like, I was in full Van Damme mode.
Yeah.
So this thing came out in 90. Is that what it says?
Oh, I don't know. I
believe. Okay. I believe the movie came out in 90, but I believe it was filmed in like 87. That's the things I've read about it.
Well, you could tell they put a lot of production into this.
Yeah, they sure did. But even if you look at like some of the styles that are being worn in here, it's
very late 80s.
Late 80s instead of like early 90s. But
indeed.
But at that time, I was so into Van Damme and stuff that her movies would come straight to video. Cynthia's movies, and I'm a younger male, and I wasn't into the chick doing the kung fu stuff.
Yeah,
man.
you wanted to see dudes doing the splits.
I wanted to see
seeing those that plump Van
asses and shit.
That plump Van Damme butt just poking out.
Exactly. No, I don't know what it was. I don't know. I'm like, fuck. Cynthia Rothrock kicks ass, dude. Why didn't I watch more of these movies?
Oh yeah, man. She
pisses
really,
me off.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize too, she started her career in Hong Kong, making like Hong Kong movies with like Jackie Chan, not Jackie Chan, but like those film crews.
Okay.
And so this, I believe, was her first American movie,
quote unquote,
because it was a Hong Kong company, Golden Harvest, who's kind of legendary. They did.
They also own Red Lobster.
They, according to you, they own Red Lobster. Hard times there. But they
don't actually. I don't think so.
They got big in the 70s with Bruce Lee, then Jackie Chan, and they.
Oh, that was the same company.
The same company. Yeah, Golden Harvest was pretty legendary over in Hong Kong. And a couple of the movies like Enter the Dragon, Jackie Chan's movie The Big Brawl, and then this movie, they did kind of like these co-American produced movies. And what's funny is like this one especially, for whatever reasons, it's filmed in Utah.
Yeah.
Which maybe they got some sort of tax break, or I don't know what the deal was, but so they filmed China O'Brien 1 and 2 back to back in Utah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never seen part 2.
Well, it's on this disc.
I know it is.
And I think we're going to have to watch it.
Thanks to our listener, I think it was, I don't know if we got an email from somebody, but I think, or it was on Facebook or something, gave me the heads up that this was coming out, not on Blu-ray, ladies and gentlemen, on 4K UHD.
Yeah.
Ultimate HD or Ultimate, I can't remember, what are these called? I forget.
Ultimate high definition.
Is it UHD or is it U?
I have no idea.
God.
No idea.
Anyways, 4K disc.
Yeah.
I was so fucking happy. So the first time I saw China O'Brien, it was a VHS copy. Guess where I rented it from, Aaron?
Tom Thumb.
You got it.
Yep.
And the cover was like so cool. It's like not the cover to this. I'll say like the wacky cover that's on this one where it's like hand painted and drawn, which is awesome. But the cover was like dark shadow, and it was like kind of like you could see half of her, and she was holding like a staff and all this stuff. I was like, this movie's gonna kick ass. And then when I watched it again, it was like 1990. I was full blown. Bloodsport had just come out. Kickboxer had just come out. I was like, and there was, when you know something's off, you're like, this seems older than it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems very, and this is terrible to say, seems very foreign.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it was a Hong Kong crew.
Yeah.
And it just seems,
some of the stuff doesn't translate.
Doesn't quite translate.
Like the dialogue, there's some stuff with the dialogue, like
a little goofy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
things
a lot of the normal shit too, like the acting's not great, of course.
Yeah.
So it's very stilted and
there's
stuff. But there's some like words that are used incorrectly, I'm pretty sure.
And it's terrible to say, but like something's off, right? I just and so I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie, but then through the years, as I just kind of forgot about it, and then through the years I started reading about it more. It got more of a cult following, and I was like, God damn, that movie was more batshit crazy than I thought. And I really was like, I really want to watch that again. Yeah. But you can only get it on VHS, and you could only get it on Laserdisc.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't think it ever came out on DVD in America.
Did you ever get it on Laserdisc?
I didn't. I wanted to get it so fucking badly, dude.
Yeah.
I tried, and it got to the point where it's just too expensive on like eBay. I'm like, I'm not going to pay, $70 for China O'Brien on Laserdisc.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think it had such that wide of a release.
Plus, I think your wife told you that she would leave you if you spent $70 on China O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie, pretty great, man.
It is. It is pretty great.
And these these 80s movies too, like you really know they really spell it out for you. Who to root for, because the bad guys are fucking evil. Full on evil shit.
Selling drugs.
Yep.
Torturing women.
And raping women.
Yep. And then just like basically owning an entire small town just to terrorize it.
Yep. And sell drugs to it?
Yeah.
We don't really know where the drugs were going in this movie.
All they had was a house with no windows.
Yeah.
Where they made...
No, it had windows. It just didn't have glass in the windows.
No glass in the windows. So clearly like graffitied up to hell, and in the inside, making mountains and mountains of cocaine.
Yeah. Yep.
Making, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really get that part.
Because cocaine really isn't made in the States, right? It's always made...
Yeah, it's made in South America.
And then like shipped in.
Yeah.
But either way, they have mountains and mountains of white powder in
plastic
garbage
bags and stuff like that. Guys wearing like masks,
breathers and shit. Yeah, don't quite. And
I didn't really get. I mean, these obviously these guys, the bad guys, were just into all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
right. And what's supposed to be, what is it again? Park Slope, or no?
So it was filmed apparently in Park City, Utah.
Park City. Yeah.
in Colville, Utah.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I didn't look this up. Isn't Park City where they do that film festival? What's the one that like
Sundance?
Where's Sundance at?
I thought Sundance was in.
That's like skiing and shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where's that?
Isn't that in like the ritzy skiing place?
That's in Utah though, right?
Oh fuck, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess
don't know.
maybe I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, someone
it
out
is.
there's yelling at their fucking
Oh yeah.
their listening device right now, their phone.
And I
You
always thought,
fucking
like when I
morons.
hear like Park City, Utah seems like a much bigger place.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the shots of the town and stuff. Like, are we sure that's Park City? I don't know.
Well,
it could
yeah,
have been
I mean,
Park
I don't-
City in 1987.
yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm looking it up right
But
now.
so Cynthia Rothrock is like, she plays China O'Brien, of course. She is a cop in some nondescript big city.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They don't really.
Was it New
yeah.
York or something?
Yeah,
It kind
I-
of seems like it's that.
They just keep referring to it as
Yeah.
you're a city girl, you're big cities.
But it's kind of funny. So she's teaching like martial arts. And then there's this guy called, what's his name? Termite?
Park City. Sundance Film Festival
Oh,
takes
that's where
place
Sundance is.
every January in
dang.
Park City, Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, and the Sundance Resort, a ski resort in
Okay, so it is at a ski
Provo,
resort.
Utah.
Provo. Oh,
Yeah.
weird. All right. So she's like teaching martial arts. And there's this guy named Termite.
His name's
Is that
Termite.
Termite?
Yeah, what's his name in the movie? Yes.
Yeah, and he's part of a different class. I didn't really understand this part.
I think he was taking the class and then was like,
You got to prove your shit.
"Yeah, this is bullshit. It doesn't really work. You know, I don't believe it really works." And she's like, "Oh, it really works." And then he was like, "Meet me in the alley.
I've got 5 guys.
I got 5 guys, and we'll test and see if you know your shit." Sort of thing.
Yeah. And so he gets jumped in the alley, though. And she
Yeah.
doesn't know. And so she goes to meet up and just, like, kick some major ass and do her little, like, what would you call that? Like, just, for lack of a better word, like, display.
Yeah.
You know.
She just, and while she's doing it, she's yelling out everything she's doing. She's like,
Right.
"This is a Kamagotchi."
And she is in one hell of a wardrobe.
She is in one hell of a wardrobe.
Huge, weird, oversized jacket,
Yeah,
like teal jacket,
and like
and then
flared out.
bright red fucking.
What kind of pants
What
are
kind of
those?
pants are those? Like parachute pants?
Yeah, like flared out parachute or something.
Yeah.
She kicks all these guys' asses and she's trying to teach a lesson on the way, and then you find out that like one of the students shows up and goes, "Hey, because he runs into Termite, and Termite's like, right? He finds Termite knocked out.
Termite
and
is like
Termite's
crawling
like-
from behind a dumpster, all bloody. And
yeah, he's
stuff,
like,
and
"China," and so he's like, "It's not like China's.
It's
those
not
are
us.
It's not us. It's real criminals." And so they get there, and he gets there,
and she ends up shooting a guy.
Yeah, China's
and so
kicked
she
everyone's
hands
ass.
in her badge, and she's like, "I'm going back to Utah."
Which, okay, I didn't understand this either. So she's kicking ass in this alleyway. She doesn't realize that they're all real bad guys. The guy shows up and says, "Hey, China, these are bad guys." And one of the guys from the shadows takes a gun out, points it at her friend. She pulls her own gun and shoots this person. And apparently it was a younger kid or something.
Oh, I don't.
And her boss, when she's turning her badge in, her chief police sergeant, whatever, he's turning her
like,
badge and gun in.
It was justified.
He's like,
You saved your friend's life.
yeah, he would have killed your friend. And she's like, "I'm not touching a gun again."
Yeah.
And so then she goes back to her own old hometown where her dad is the sheriff.
Yeah.
That's where she learned her law enforcement ways, was from her father.
Right.
Who, they never say the name of this town either. Right?
Well, I mean, it's on the fire trucks, and it's on the sheriff's car too. I think.
Is it Park City on there too?
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So when she gets back to her old hometown.
And just shit is just running amok.
Yeah, shit is running amok.
You know, like there's this kingpin, crime kingpin Summers, right? Do we ever even hear his first name?
No.
Mr. Summers, right?
I didn't even pick up that
he's
was
just
his name.
fucking running everything.
Let's talk about the actor they chose to play Summers.
Okay.
Just kind of a non-threatening old guy with bolo ties.
Yeah, very non-threatening.
Like he's, in many ways, this movie is kind of reminiscent of Roadhouse, the original Roadhouse.
Yes, it's very Roadhouse-esque.
Where it's a small town, and but they're not defending a bar. In actuality, in this one, the bar is kind of the place where all the bad guys hang out.
Right.
It's
just the Beaver Inn.
The Beaver Creek Inn, yeah.
Beaver Creek Inn.
Inn.
And it's kind of a brothel too.
It's like a brothel, but then we see a whorehouse later.
Yeah.
But they select women from the bar to send to the bad guys so he can rape and torture them.
Yeah, it's weird.
He keeps them like tied up in his upstairs bedroom.
Yeah, there's one woman that's just tied up in this mansion, this stucco mansion.
Wait, stop. I love that it's a mansion, but it's not though. Like they show it from the outside. It's like a farmhouse, right?
Yeah.
It's got like horse stalls in the back, big like.
Well, it's got a barn.
It's got a barn. Well, but it has several horse stalls, at least the way they shot it. Like when you, you know, but from the outside, it's just like, and then when they jump to the inside, you really only see like one kind of living room, and the dude walks up stairs.
And it's a very small living room.
Very small living room. He walks up the stairs, and at the very top of the stairs is the bedroom where he keeps his ladies. And like he and his buddies will be playing. It's poker night. They're playing poker.
Yeah.
They're all, and then he'll just like, hold on a second. He goes upstairs, and you just hear this woman screaming. And the dudes that are playing poker, one of them is just like, so he's like,
yeah, he's got a new lady up there.
Yeah, they're just getting off on it. They're just pure evil, man. They're all in the small town.
Yeah.
So many evil people.
So she shows up. She's looking for her dad. Overhears, like she goes to the sheriff's station first, right?
Yeah, and the guy that's there doesn't realize that she's
his daughter. Yeah.
It's like he's like, "Can I help you, darling?" He's like, in literally the first time you set eyes on this dude, you go, "That guy's evil."
Oh yeah.
Like there's his face is all acne pock-marked up, right?
Yeah.
Got an amazing mullet, a mustache.
Greasy though.
Greasy.
Real looking
greasy.
mullet and stuff like that.
Who does he remind me of? He reminds me of some actor. And like, I'm surprised this guy didn't get more work as a bad guy, because he's pretty all right. Like he's creepy as fuck.
Wasn't a bad actor either.
He's not a bad actor.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
And he just looks like just got that, like, no doubt. The second you see him, you're like, he's a police officer, so he must be good. No, wrong. Like the second you fucking lay eyes on him. And so he doesn't know who China is.
Right.
And he takes, like you said, he takes
a call or something like that. And it's from Summers, the kingpin, right?
And are they talking about the Beaver Creek?
They're talking about the Beaver Creek Inn, and that the sheriff is there. And so she leaves, goes, and then, cut to the Beaver Creek Inn where the sheriff is at. And he's trying to take this guy into custody, but everybody in the bar is like standing in the way. Yeah. Right? Like,
and he's got his other deputy, I guess, with him too. There's one good deputy that works for her father that knows China, and then this other pockmarked dude who's a new hire. Her dad says, "I just hired this guy too."
Yeah. Bad news bears.
Yeah, and China's figured it out. Like, in literally, like, she's been in town 10 minutes. She's like, "Oh, that guy's bad." I overheard him talking
to some guy Summers.
Which she finds out her dad's like, "This Summers guy's bad news." She's like, "Oh, hey, that guy back that you hired, that new guy, he was talking to Summers." What are you talking about? I was like, okay. Like, so she figures it out really quickly. Just like we did when we saw him.
Yeah. You just have to have, more than just a couple of years of high school education just to figure this movie out. And
actually, if you're 12 years old, this entire movie makes sense.
Yes,
and in fact, this is what real life is.
It was written by a 12-year-old in China.
It really does feel like a boy wrote this? Like, because to me it was like, yeah. When I was watching it, I was like, well, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you just control a small town and sell your drugs there? You will make thousands of dollars if you're lucky.
Tens of thousands.
If you're lucky.
Tens of thousands of dollars. You could live in a stucco Rambler.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Let's see. So, her dad's trying to take this guy down, right? And like at every move, he's like kind of cornered and stopped by just because this guy Summers just owns everybody, right? He's paid everybody off. Like there's one judge.
Who looks like a young Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. Acts like him too.
Go figure. He's not a good person.
Yeah.
The one attorney in town that defends all of the or is hired by all these criminals.
Yeah.
I mean,
what?
It's just it's ridiculous in the sense that like, I don't know, maybe this shit goes on. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because I haven't been in a small town in a while, but it seems so obvious. And so it would not work. It wouldn't like, I don't think you could get away with this shit the way they're getting away with it. It's so absurd.
This kind of shit is playing out in American politics right now.
True, but it almost seems like it would be easier to do in that big giant machine of a political. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's that house. Before we're watching the background here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like wouldn't the town be like, well, this is we can't operate this way anymore. Like this one guy's running the town. He not only does he just like run the entire town, he owns every why wouldn't they have just eliminated her dad in the first place? Like we'll get to that later, but like what's the point at this point? Why are they even doing this charade of things where they allow him to arrest his men, they get defended, they get bailed out by the judge and this attorney, and then rinse repeat? Like why wouldn't you I guess maybe
I mean, this kind of shit does happen though. I mean, and probably not to this extent.
I was going to say it's like so blatant in this movie.
But like wouldn't the state, for example,
wouldn't the state at some point go like, what's going on down there in Park
For
City?
Example, the Murdaugh family, who I'm sure you've heard of.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? The fucking lawyers, that family of lawyers and shit. The dude went,
That's true.
The dude's kid killed one of his friends in a boating accident and got off scot-free. Fucking... all sorts of shit. Where was that, by the way? Was that Florida or was that like one of the Carolinas or something?
Something like that, I think, one of the Carolinas. Yeah. But there's even a difference there in that, like, his dad was a pretty respected attorney and was rich, so he got away with a lot.
Yeah.
He wasn't like openly evil. He wasn't like running a bar where he would take women, enslave them, and torture them, and then like. We
don't know what that fucking guy was doing.
That's true. That's
killed
true.
His goddamn wife and his son.
I'm just saying, like, come on. I mean, it wasn't like this. It's still more cleverly done. I don't want to give this guy any sort of like, but it's. I don't think it's as blatant as this movie makes it. I can't believe that it's absurd over the top in this movie.
Oh, yes.
That's the point. It's like the court scenes are funny.
Well, and that was the greatest thing. That was a great thing about this era of movies, too. It's like you knew who the bad guys were.
Yeah, it was just
like... It's like they didn't really have to even show much because you could just imagine how evil they were.
I guess maybe that's the point I'm making. I find it funny that they went through all this effort to have these court hearings in like a nondescript kind of room.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know if it was the courthouse of Park City, but it was like tiny little fucking like office.
Yeah.
With like a guy sitting behind a desk who's the judge.
Well, yeah, because they went, well, let's not skip over this because so the sheriff gets a call to go out like to this lumber mill.
Oh, God.
Right?
I totally forgot about this part.
And he's like, hey, China, you want to come with me? And China's like, yeah, I'm getting restless. Let's go out there together. And apparently there's this one guy, like, he had his own trees that he was going to mill down, but then...
Yeah, it's my lumber.
Yeah. Mr. Summers guys came in and just started milling his wood, like stole his wood.
And he's like, you could
started
see
milling
I tagged it.
I tagged it with my tag. It's like, and so they try to, the sheriff tries to stop these guys, and then the guys just fucking straight up attack the sheriff.
Yeah.
Right? And then China steps in and fucking starts, bashing dudes' heads and stuff. Oh, and then, like, we forgot to mention the dude on the motorbike.
Yeah.
That we get introduced to, who has a mangled hand and some sort of like metal clamp.
Why would you
around
need
his wrist?
Why would you need this if you had a mangled hand? He covers it with a bag.
Right.
And then clamps.
And then he's got like this. There's this metal clamp on it, and he screws in this little like rod into the metal clamp, and then puts it into his the handlebars of
his motor. He's got a dirt bike.
His dirt bike.
He's got a dirt bike,
so he can steer with his stub, with
Yeah.
his hand stub.
Yeah.
And so
it's like a peg that he like inserts.
He's kind of constantly in the background, like following China around.
Yeah.
Right. And so he kind of shows up and helps out at this when this fight ensues at the lumber mill.
Yeah, and he also helped out when she was fighting at Beaver Creek
at the Beaver Creek
at the
Inn,
bar.
which we didn't talk about that fight, but anyway. So
yeah, I mean,
they're at the lumber mill. They take one of the guys into custody and take him, and they go to this courtroom, which is where you can take it from there.
Oh yeah,
They're
where Rush Limbaugh's in the
courtroom.
quote unquote courtroom, which is like about the Family Fun Center is larger than the courtroom, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. About the same size.
You find out just how corrupt this guy is. He favors the attorney in every way and says like, you had no right to handle them the way you did, Mr. What is Chief O'Brien?
Yeah, it's Chief O'Brien.
And your daughter,
Sheriff O'Brien.
Sheriff O'Brien, your daughter's not deputized. She has no business helping out in any way.
Yeah.
And you're lucky that I don't come after you. And then they leave, and and she's basically like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how up against it you are."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I just have to tie all." What did he say about shell corporations?
Yeah, there's all sorts of shell corporations that this Mr. Summers guy is running, right?
Oh, that's right, because
in town, like the mill, the fucking Beaver Creek Inn,
yeah, and that's where they're talking about getting the feds involved.
Yeah, he starts talking about getting the feds involved,
which was what I was saying. I was at some point it would make it out of here that this is being run so corruptly. But I guess we were just seeing the moments of this happening.
Yeah, I mean, you're watching it in real time. This happens.
This is what happens at all.
This happens
so many
all
small
the time.
towns across America.
Every small town.
Every small town across America. He's like, I'm up against it with this thing.
What is it? What does Trump call it? It's American carnage.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's carnage across the United States. This is exactly what's happening.
But
the Mexicans are doing it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wouldn't this be like Trump? Like he would be part of this? He appointed the judge.
Yeah. A lot of similarities in here that we're about to get into.
Let's not take it there. So he's like, I'm going to go to the feds as soon as I can get the proof that he is
right.
He's behind all these dummy corporations.
Yeah, but so he goes back and talks with his deputy about this back at the station too,
That's right.
And then we find out, this is where it comes into play that the weirdo looking deputy
is
with the mullet is on the take,
yeah,
because he's got a fucking. He's got
God, that's right.
The office bugged. He's got the sheriff's office bugged. And he goes down to this power switch, the main power switch for the building. He has hidden a stereo speaker in there.
Hidden. Could you imagine if someone came and was like, hey,
I'm doing air quotes when I say hidden because it's not very well hidden.
I know, but they can't see your air quotes.
Yeah. So he pops this thing open and turns it up. He's just standing in a hallway.
Like he's down. He's
in the station.
Yes.
and he's listening to their conversation in the hallway in the station
Which
on a
is
loudspeaker.
like a little junction box that he flips open, and the thing is filled with a speaker and a volume knob.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
again, if the guy who's like, hey, we need to get cable installed, or whatever, the guy would be like, well, where's your conduit? Let me, it's back here. Let me open this junction box. Why is there a giant speaker and a volume knob in this box?
Yeah,
It's so like. It's so dumb. It's like an intercom system. It's not even a bug. It's like an intercom system this guy has.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can listen in.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's fucking absurd.
So then they, then cut to like China and her dad are having just had dinner or something like that. They're sitting in chairs next to the main window, next to the fireplace or something like that. Dad's smoking a pipe, and they get a phone call, and Dad has to rush out. What happens? Car blows up.
Boom.
They kill him. Boom. Dead. And then they kill the deputy the same way.
Yeah.
And now, the sheriff's office is now being run by that
Pockmark.
shady motherfucker.
Pockface.
Right? Yeah. So China's like, well, fuck this. I'm going to run for sheriff. And this is where shit gets real.
And she has become tight with her old, I guess, high school flame, Matt.
Yeah, let's talk about Matt for a second.
So, again, within the first 10 minutes of her being back in town when she's on her way to make it out to Bear Creek.
She sees this guy running on the road with a bunch of teenagers. He
doing
runs
like a road
over to
run.
her car and instantly fucking kisses her on the face.
Yeah, he's
on
like,
the lips.
China! He like comes over,
Yeah. Instant kiss on the lips.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty forward.
It was
She
pretty
seemed to
forward.
like it, though.
She did seem to like it.
Yeah.
And it was clear in some way that they've had a past. And he's let's talk about Richard Norton.
Yes,
who
please.
plays Matt in this movie.
Yep. Looks like 1980s Ringo Starr.
It looks like 1980s Ringo Starr if he had more hair and he dyed it like Sandy.
Okay.
Because he has the Ringo Starr build and his face looks like Ringo Starr.
He's got the Ringo Starr nose.
Ringo Starr nose, but then
Yep.
his hair is like Don Johnson's hair.
And he
or
is
something.
very Australian.
He's very Australian. At no point do they make any mention of why he has an Australian accent.
Apparently, he grew up in Park City.
They went to high school together.
They went to high school together.
Because we got to hear about like
Oh, yeah. He joined the Special Forces.
and this is so great. So when they're at dinner with her dad, and his deputy, and then like his dad has a
maid.
like a maid,
Yeah.
because anyways, so and she says something like, "Oh yeah, Matt used to court you," some weird thing like in high school, or Matt used to be here so often, trying to get your attention or whatever, and then her dad goes, "Yeah, he went away to the Special Forces and he's come back. He's a good man," or something like that, or
Right,
like,
yeah.
Makes
yeah.
some. Went off to the Special
he
Forces.
joined Space Force.
So, dude she went to high school with, Australian dude who they went to high school with, were kind of on and off again sweethearts. She goes to the big city to be a cop. He goes to the Special Forces.
Yeah.
They both come back to the small town.
Right. And it comes out later that she's only been gone for 6 years.
That's true. Yeah.
That is not a long time.
Yeah, no. not very long at all.
When you're an adult.
Yeah. And I wonder how old she is supposed to be. That's another thing that's like.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know.
she
I'm
was-
guessing like late 20s.
I guess so, yeah. Which, okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So where are we at now? So,
Oh, fuck if I know.
fuck if I know too.
I did want to mention one thing that I noticed too. Like one thing I really enjoy about these older movies as well is like this is like the time before everybody started bleaching their teeth.
Oh yeah.
Like
that is always funny.
whitening their teeth.
Yeah.
And like you can always see like so many people smoked.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know? Just like everybody's teeth are like a lot of teeth back then.
If you can even see them, because they're usually so dark, they just blend into like.
Well, but you can always see like there's dark outlines around teeth. You know, that haven't been cared for on a regular basis, you know?
Yeah, it is weird to see. You're so right in these older movies. You just think like sometimes you go, how are you an actor? It's like, well, they didn't have the amount of plastic surgery, Botox, teeth whitening, whatever, bleaching, none of that shit, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
it's very
yeah.
true. Everyone's rough around the edges.
That's right.
Rough
That's
around
right.
the edges.
Especially when you're making a straight to video.
So I know where we left off. 2 knobs on that, that speaker box thing. 2 knobs. One to turn it on, one to turn it up and down. Volume.
Yeah.
I know where we left off. So she's running for sheriff.
Oh,
town.
yes.
This goes into full blown like, let's print off flyers and hang them around town.
You remember when they're sitting around the kitchen table, her and Matt and the maid, and they're talking about like how they're gonna run for this position, right?
Yeah.
And Matt goes, boy, they're not making it easy for us. We have 5 forms we have to fill out, and we have to pay $1,000.
And he's not saying that as a joke. He's saying like,
no, it's very
he's
serious.
like, they're making it super
It's very
difficult for us.
serious. It's like 5 one-page forms we got to fill out. We got to fill all these out.
And pay $1,000.
And pay $1,000. And then he goes, but we already made the $1,000. Like somebody's
donated. Yeah. Oh, fuck, man. So
So now they only have 5 forms to fill out.
Now they only got 5 forms.
Yeah.
Good God, man. So it's her doing like speeches in town.
Yeah.
She's
and
like
confronting the judge.
Yeah.
But then they have this like big parade and stuff like that. Like Matt and the maid are just like, we've planned this parade for you. And it's like all this came together in like minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Took them hours to put this together. The whole town comes out and stuff. They're having a big bonfire and like shooting off fireworks and stuff like that. And then she makes this big speech. She gets up on a stage and is like making a big speech. And then, let's see, like Mr. Summers, like goons just start coming out.
Yeah, he's like, shut this down. And the fire department
First, they send the fire department in.
They're going
to put out the bonfire.
Yeah.
Matt jumps up onto the fire truck, fucking
beats the fuck out.
Punches the firefighter in the gut.
Yeah.
And like steals the fire hose away and
beats the shit out of the firefighters.
Yeah.
But someone also says, I forget who it is, like he even owns the fire department.
That's what Cynthia.
Is that what she said? Okay.
Yeah, she says it from the dais.
Which apparently makes it okay to beat the fuck out of them because you said that they're working for the bad guy. I think they're working for the bad guy. Let's beat the shit out of them. And the townspeople are like, yeah, China.
Yeah.
Violence, yay.
Yes. Violence solves everything.
They beat the shit out of them. Some goons show up. The whole fight ensues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to say, too, like every fight scene in here, pretty well done.
Yeah.
But super sped up.
There is some. I heard that there was 2. And I know way too much about this movie, but there was 2 stunt teams. Your traditional Hollywood stunt team and the guys from Hong Kong.
Right.
So you get some.
Yeah, there's some Chinese dudes in here.
And some amazing stunt work, like flips and like crazy, But then you also get some very Hollywoody, like the one that turns into basically Richard Norton at one point. He's like doing all this shit, arm locks, tossing guys. Then he gets to a gymnasium at some point. Now he's doing drop kicks and suplexes.
Yeah.
Like it's like American pro wrestling. It's really odd. It's like it swings around, so it's so uneven.
Well, dude, you gotta adapt when you're in these situations. You have to adapt to the environment. I
guess so. Yeah,
because otherwise you're just dead in the water.
In every one of these fights, the one here at the bonfire, the one at the sawmill, and the one at the bar.
Yeah,
Dakota, the guy with the weird hand.
Yep.
He's always there.
The guy on the motorbike.
He always helps out a little bit.
Yep.
He keeps his distance.
He's still very mysterious at this point,
very
too.
mysterious.
We really
Doesn't
don't
say
know
anything.
anything about this guy yet.
He just kicks some serious ass.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you thought it was sped up. I think he's just fast.
Dude, no, come on. No, it's sped up. And it looks and it makes it look even better. I love it.
There's some weird frame rate choices in this thing.
Yeah. I fucking love it. It reminds me of like an old Bruce Lee movie or something like that.
Bruce Lee was not sped up. How dare you?
Okay.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Same company.
Come on.
So
Come on.
frame rate choices, dude. Frame rate choices. But yeah, this Dakota guy keeps showing up.
But I mean, that's a big fucking fight scene too. Like all these, I keep on going back to while we were watching it. I kept on going back to like, how do they think this is helping?
Right. Yeah.
Like you're just showing your true colors now, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna fucking vote for your little lackeys now.
Now, no, like, yeah. Like, oh, look at these guys be evil to China.
Right.
And
Or be evil to the whole town.
Or be evil
because
to the
they
whole
came
town.
out with like
they know
baseball
who all of them are.
Yeah.
Except for the random Asian gentlemen that show up sometimes
Yeah,
when
right.
needed. But
Right.
like for the most part, how would this? Everyone in the small town knows who all of these guys are.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Fucking so.
I mean, I guess you run it like a cartel, right? And you just rule by fear. You know.
Which also leads me to like there was no way that they would have a fair elections in this town.
Well, let's get to that point. Yeah.
I know, but like, I still don't understand. Spoiler alert: how China wins. I don't quite get it.
Well, I think the whole town fucking voted for her.
But they could just take half of them, dump them. They own the whole town.
Well, yeah,
I mean-
but dude, we witnessed how it worked because everybody came in and voted, right?
Yeah.
Matt, turns out he's a teacher, right? And so he gets a couple, and he's the football coach. And so, which is not fully spelled out. I missed all of
He
this.
says, "I got some of my football players to come and watch the polls."
Never.
I'm fairly certain.
I'm fairly certain he never explained, or it was never explained that he was an actual football coach up until that point. And all he said was like, "I'll get some of my football
okay,
players."
like, you know, we could say that maybe he isn't the coach though. He did say I got some, but he did say my football. I'm fairly certain he said my football players.
No, I believe you. I believe you on that.
But then I'm
but I don't
thinking-
remember him ever saying earlier that he was a football coach.
No,
or
I
a
mean-
teacher.
Or a teacher.
It says he's a teacher in the credits.
It does say he's a teacher in the credits because it says Matt's students.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, dude, I don't know where.
And
that
he's
fucking
doing a
came from.
road run with his students. I'm fairly certain that's
Yeah,
what
but
he's
that is
doing.
never explained
No,
either.
I know.
Yeah, but
And
so,
also, what kind of football is it? Is it Aussie rules?
yeah, is it rugby?
Is it just like soccer football, or is it American rules football? I would assume American rules football.
I'm guessing since it's in Utah.
Maybe he did. Maybe the dude's lived here his entire life, and he just never shook the accent.
The only thing his parents ever let him watch was Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, which wasn't even out yet,
Which wasn't even out yet.
or may have just come out.
Yeah.
During this movie.
They
So-
drink a lot of milk in this
They
movie,
drink a
too.
lot of milk.
A lot of milk. A lot of good bones.
Matt likes his Coors.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some Miller Genuine Drafts at the Beaver Creek.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Right. Yep.
I think some kids were drinking Hawaiian Punch at some point.
I'm sure. A lot of the town, like the shots of the town and stuff like that, you could tell like people were just coming out to try to like watch the movie get made.
Absolutely.
There's like in so many scenes, there's just like kids like just kind of sitting on their front step.
or hanging
like,
on
watching
monkey bars,
everything.
watching all
Yeah.
this shit go down. Yeah.
Which is what I totally would have done if something like this
Absolutely.
was happening in my
Absolutely.
hometown. And like I told you while we were watching it, like I would have bought every fucking copy of this movie just to show people 40 years later.
Pause it.
That was
That's
me on
me
that.
right there.
On that. See me hanging out on the scaffolding for the church? Yeah, they were redoing the siding on that
Yep.
church, and they did this little drive-by scene.
This guy Matt drives his Trans Am right in front of me right here.
Yeah, look at that fucking Firebird, dude. I got to sit in it.
Yeah.
But so after this big fight at the
rally,
the
ball
rally,
fight, yeah.
right? They did the parade, they did the rally, and then it's voting night. And so Matt gets a couple of his students his teenage football players to go and watch the polls.
Which is like the one that they show. The poll is at like a gymnasium.
Yeah, it's at a gym.
At the high school.
And so they're just sitting there, and they've got a walkie-talkie, so if they see anything funky, they can like radio back. So the polls close, and these two fucking goons, Mr. Summers goons, come in to get the thing. And then the teenagers are like, hey, we're supposed to watch you guys do the count as well. And they're like, fuck you are.
Yeah.
And like
Who are
hit
you
him
guys?
with it, like try to steal the ballot box, and then hit him with it and like knock one of the kids out. And then this is the big fight that ensues at the gym.
Yeah, where it gets
Within the
very pro
gymnasium
wrestling.
and the workout room and everything like that.
I mean, Richard Norton takes a blown 45 plate right into the side of the guy's temple. He's dead.
Yeah. Now, after they beat up those goons, then the vote happens, the count happens, Cynthia wins with over 50% of the vote.
Yeah.
They're having a celebration that night.
Oh, boy.
Another goon, a different goon that we haven't seen before, rolls up with a fucking AR-15 or an M16, whatever it is. Just starts mowing people down. The maid gets shot in the fucking head.
Yeah. She's the only one that's injured.
She's the only one that's killed.
They take a lot of like lighting, like lantern lighting that gets blown up. Watermelon.
Yeah.
So
one guy in the background goes, you guys hear the guy in the background once the shooting stopped?
No, what he said?
Like, oh, fire started.
Oh, yeah, I did. Some of the best work is the ADR stuff. That's like, someone get that bitch. There's like a bunch of that in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Now, in this scene, we see, or was it the scene before that the Dakota, the guy on the motorbike, like kind of introduces himself finally? Are they like, because they finally notice that this kid is like following them all around, right?
Matt says that
so they
kid on the
corner him.
dirt bike's down the street again.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's figure this shit out. And they kind of.
So they corner him.
Yeah.
They give him some cereal and a glass of milk.
It's so true.
Yeah.
They're like, let's have a chat with this. And I think they're treating him like almost like he's a child. A little bit.
Yeah, because he kind of is.
He's younger,
right?
but like, is he that young? I don't know.
He's really good at fighting.
He was really good at fighting.
Yeah.
Keith Cook is this guy's name.
Yeah.
Didn't make that many movies, but he kicked ass. The rumor on this guy is that Golden Harvest was trying to bring him over to Hong Kong, make him a star, and he was like, nah, I just like teaching martial arts. Thanks, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's only made like a handful of movies.
That's pretty cool.
He did this. He did King of the Kickboxers. He's in that. That's another kind of made in Hong Kong movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's really good.
He was decent,
he's
dude.
Good in this.
He was decent.
His martial arts is fucking pretty badass.
Yeah.
The reason he has this thing on his hand is because he did hurt himself
during the filming of the movie.
During like one of the first fight scenes or something, he
broke his finger.
Right? Did something, and so instead of kicking them off the shoot, which was nice of them, they were like, "Let's just write it into the script that you got this problem with your hand."
Right.
And they tell us where that.
Yeah,
happened.
they give the backstory around that table
when he's eating a bowl of Captain Crunch, talking to Matt in China. We get a little back.
Yeah. Right.
He's like,
his mom was a prostitute at the Beaver Creek Inn,
which he didn't know until he showed up.
He was off around traveling the country racing motorbikes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And he shows up. He heard that his mom was at the Beaver Creek Inn, so he goes there, and she is a prostitute.
Yep.
And And basically, I mean, it escalates really quick.
Yeah, the guy comes over and goes, "Hey, dude, your mom needs to be fucking some dude.
Your mom needs to get back to work.
Beat it.
You need to get out of here."
And he's like, no, you can't do this to my mom. And they grab him, they take him outside.
They beat the shit out of him, and then one guy just stomps on his hand
with the cowboy boot on.
Yeah,
which
apparently causes your hand to get amputated.
It causes your hand to get either amputated or very malshapen. or something, because you got to cover it with a bag at that point.
You got to cover it with a plastic bag and then put some weird little fucking aluminum clamp on it.
Yes. Totally makes sense. Makes sense. That's what you would do.
Yeah.
A weird thing too is in this flashback that this guy that we've watched, apparently he's younger. I don't know how much younger, because
but he's not old enough to be in the bar.
He's not. That's right. They say he's not old enough to be in the bar.
Yeah.
He's wearing a suit for some reason.
Suit and a tie.
His suit and a tie. And he's got his hair pulled back into a ponytail instead of the mullet with a headband that he wears.
Well, I think it was because he was trying to dress nice to see his mom for the first time in a long time.
Right. Which I'm sure, he has that suit and tie and all that stuff tucked away. And when you're a dirt bike racing across the country,
yes,
you sometimes have to go to these events where you get your ponytail on and all that shit. And then P.S. they beat the fuck out of him. He doesn't know any like martial arts apparently back then, whenever this was.
Right.
But in the last year or two since they crippled his hand,
just became like just an uber martial artist.
Amazing martial artist.
Yeah. I mean, he's dropping 3 dudes at a time.
Yes, easily with one kick.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
That's no joke.
One
we saw that.
Jump spinning crescent kick took out three dudes.
Looks like it would work too.
Sort of. Kind of.
Sort of.
It looks fucking cool when he does it though.
Now, he of course is sitting in the background at the celebration party, right? For Cynthia or China winning the vote. And so he's just sitting on his fucking motorbike in the background.
Yep.
And somehow he has a badge on.
He's got he's been deputized.
Somehow he's been deputized before they even get the badges. And he runs in, like we said, there was this guy that just like came and just mowed down like the party, right?
Yeah.
With an M16. And so he just like chases this dude off.
And you say to me, why does he have a badge on?
Why has he got a badge already? And then so China that night goes and gets the sheriff's badge from. Oh no, she already had it. She already had the sheriff's badge, right?
Yeah, because after the...
But they go to the judge's house, and they're like, hey, motherfucker.
Matt ceremoniously gives her his
oh, yeah, I thought he was going to
badge.
propose.
I thought he was, too. He's like...
Yeah, I thought he was going to propose.
We
got to make this official.
We got to make this official. And like, oh, fuck, I guess she's going to marry her right here. And then he pulls out her father's badge and says, and pins it on her.
Yep.
Which, to the credit of the writers of the movie... When they go to the judge, he was like, I see you already got the badge on without even being sworn in.
Yeah. But they're like, they take him by the neck and they're like, listen, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You are going to swear us in right now because this has gone on long enough.
Yeah.
And you're going to give us warrants to go and fucking take care of this shit. So the next day, she deputizes a shit ton of teenagers.
The same boys that were watching the polls.
Yeah. The kids on the football team deputizes a bunch of them.
Probably like 8 of them, right? 7 or 8?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they've just got all sorts of fucking funds coming in because they've got all sorts of like Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
And,
they've got a bunch of police cars.
And police
Broncos.
cars and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so they roll out.
And they just start busting shit up, man. They bust up the first thing they bust up is the cocaine house.
Yeah.
Out in the
bulldoze
desert. And they bulldoze it. They've got a bulldozer too.
And while it's like hitting the house, like
3 dudes jump out of it.
They're hiding in there. They jump out while the bulldozer's nailing it.
So high on cocaine.
Yeah, so high on coke.
Yeah.
I guess they just figured like the best way to handle this drug situation is turn the house into rubble. And just
with all the drugs in it
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably the best way to handle that.
Yeah. I would have been the guy like going back to that house at night. And oh fuck, dude! There's so much coke in here.
Yeah, dude. I think this is coke, but it kind of looks like drywall too. I don't know. Right. Fucking snort it anyways.
It's all mixed up. It's all mixed together. Yeah.
So while they're doing this, where do you think you'd send the newly deputized high school boys? What do they need to handle?
Well, they were there, weren't they?
Yeah, but they also sent them off to do a job, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, they went to the whorehouse.
They're busting up the whorehouse.
They busted up the whorehouse.
And of course, they say a one-liner like, I could get used to this job.
Yeah,
Something
I like
that.
this job.
I like this job.
It was so funny too, because like all the prostitutes coming out of that house were like wearing lingerie
In
and
daylight.
stuff like that. In
Everything
daylight.
in this movie pretty much happens during the day,
Yes,
by the way.
yeah. And they're just like all laughing.
Yeah.
They're like,
and they're ADR. I wish I would have dressed up for this.
Yeah,
all this
yeah.
stuff.
Right.
They're coming out in lingerie. It's like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
That's what happens in these small town whorehouses. Have you been to them? You walk in and there's 30 women in lingerie. You don't know that? It happens all the time, dude.
That's what
Happens all the time.
And then they roll up to the Beaver Creek Inn, right?
Yep.
And you know, the guy, the former deputy, evil deputy.
Yeah.
He's
They've all been stripped of their powers in a mere 24 hours. They're they are done.
For sure. And he makes a call to Mr. Summers. He's like, dude, she is on her way here. Like, what do we do? And they're like, if you see her, kill her.
And then and he also says something to the effect like the judge, they've got warrants.
Yeah.
And that judge knows what's going to happen to him at some
Right.
point. He's
Something along those lines.
But yeah, so like what did he say? Does he say like kill her? He does say kill her?
I think he says something similar to that, I think. Yeah.
And then when
Take
he
care
hangs
of her
up
or
the
something.
phone, Summers is like, fuel up the plane. We're getting out of here.
Yeah. Gas up the plane.
We're getting out of here.
We're getting out of here. Or no, gas up the plane and tell the pilot we're going to make a jump to the coast.
Yeah, to the coast. Good stuff.
Or make a run to the coast is I think what he says.
Yeah.
But so let's see. China and Matt are in one cop car. They all stop kind of up the road from the inn, and China and Matt go down, and they show the guys the warrant through the window.
What you should do is drive really close, drive right up to the building, and then roll the window down and be like,
"We've got a warrant to come in there.
It's right here."
Yep. And then let's see. Evil former deputy. Like, just breaks the window and just starts shooting.
Do you think you need to break a window out to start shooting? I don't get that sometimes in these movies. He like uses the tip of the gun and goes, psh, he breaks it out and then starts shooting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you just shoot through the window?
I think if you want better accuracy, you should probably break the window open. Yeah. Because I think anything that hits a bullet is going to send it on a
different trajectory.
Yeah.
Well, but then also, wouldn't you think like you'd kind of give the people outside a heads up when the window breaks and the tip of a gun comes out to point at you? Like at that point, you're
I mean that's a pretty clear indicator that somebody's going to start shooting fairly soon.
Thank you for giving me a good 10 to 15 seconds to get ready for you to shoot at me.
Yeah.
So Dakota says, "Fuck all this." Some people call it a wheelie. My friend's old man like to call it a wheel.
This is the best.
My friend's old man like to call it a wheel stand. So he does a wheel stand right through this like front window of this bar. And you're kind of like, where's he going? What's he doing here?
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Why would you do that?
He goes, he just a wheelie and just goes bang, and I guess busts through the wall and window.
Yep.
Because there's got to be something below that window structure.
I think it was meant to just go through the window,
but
I don't think he busted through the wall.
But he didn't
I don't remember
jump.
seeing that.
He didn't jump, though. That's the problem with it. It's like, it'd be one thing if he like jumped and it was like just rammed through the window. He just does a wheelie.
Yeah.
And the front
I think
tires
we're
go
made
through the window.
to think the scene is cut in a way that just shows it coming through the window.
Correct.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. What the fuck is going on with the bottom of the fucking bike, though?
I
So
don't
I'm
know,
saying
man.
is like it, and then shit
It's
gets
movie magic.
Shit gets really weird because he comes in doing this wheel stand.
Yeah.
And cut to guy on the
bike,
floor.
The bike sliding
on its side into a guy
that had an M16 and was cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Yeah.
And
it pins him to the wall.
Kills him.
Yeah. I guess it did kill him.
Yeah, he's dead,
huh?
dude. He's dead.
Yeah, because he's just done the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, another fight ensues. And
The long one too. This
one.
one went on for way too long.
It did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one of the cooler fight scenes
No.
either. It's like she's standing on a bar.
Yeah. There is one great scene in this bar fight, though.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I thought it was really well done. Matt yells over, "China!" And he throws some fine china to China
Pitcher.
so she can use it to like break over the head of some guy. And I thought it was really, that was
deal.
great.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Now, at some point, does someone mention that, Summers is getting away or something? Like, what happened?
Well, yeah. So Dakota finally wrestles with the evil deputy.
Oh, right.
Right. And
Says, "Where's my mom?"
And gets the M16 and is holding it to his neck and is like, "Where's my mom?" And he's like, or not. Did I say Summers? No.
The
Yeah,
pockmark guy.
Mr. Summers killed her, and he made it look like an accident.
And so Dakota is like, hops on his bike gets his bike backed up.
Yeah.
Picks his bike back up, takes the M16 and starts racing towards Mr. Summers' house.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when China is like, he's gonna go kill him, and so they kind of try to, they finish up their fight and then
go racing
after.
to stop.
Yeah. And then
Dakota.
this, of course, is the climax of the whole movie.
Which is Dudsville, by the way, this climax.
It really was, yeah.
It's like, because Dakota shows up, immediately gets his gun taken away, fights a bunch of dudes, gets his gun back, and gets Mr. Summers to a point where he's got his, pinned him up against in this horse barn.
Matt and China finally show up.
He's got,
They handcuff him.
As they show up, they hear a gunshot, right?
Right.
And they're like,
right.
"Oh shit, he killed him."
Yeah, but it was Mr. Summers shooting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Into the air, basically.
Yeah. And he's defeated. When they find him, he's
defeated.
He's defeated.
He looks dejected, and he's just sitting on the floor in one of the horse stalls, and so Matt picks him up, handcuffs his hand to Mr. Summers' hand. And it was like, what the fuck are you doing?
In fairness to Matt, he'd only been deputized for one day.
That's true. He was a high school teacher, but he had joined the special forces.
That's how they handle guys in the special forces.
He should know.
I love too that Dakota goes, "Okay, I'm done with this M16." He just hangs it on a hook in the barn,
on the wall,
walks
in the barn.
off.
Yeah,
leaves in the barn.
Yeah,
they get outside. They're getting ready to put him in the car. All of a sudden, gunshot.
Yep, and it's the woman who's been tied up and repeatedly raped by Mr. Summers.
Yeah, from
had her own M16 now and shot him.
Which was odd because at some point when he found out that they were on their way to get him, Mr. Summers went up and opened up this giant chest.
Oh yeah,
chest.
This was great,
and
there was one just little revolver,
like a Saturday Night Special that he pulls out, and that's what he has when he's hiding in the barn. But then, dude, why didn't you get that M16 that you left in the room with the lady who's tied up to the bed?
Yeah.
Again, another odd choice at the end of this movie. It's obvious they didn't want to have China kill him, but I guess they felt like this dude deserved to die for all the.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was evil.
Yeah,
right.
And so we'll just spoiler alert. I may have heard that China O'Brien 2 ends kind of the same way.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I hear. I don't know if it's true. I've never seen it.
Huh?
But I hear it ends with China not doing the killing yet again.
Huh? Yeah. Maybe it was something she stipulated, I don't want to be seen as a killer or something. I don't know.
You mean
maybe.
Cynthia? Like Rothrock?
Yeah, totally.
Put it in her fucking contract?
Yeah.
Cynthia Rothrock's real name is Cynthia Rotinsky or something. I think it's some, Midwest Polish, part Polish kind of.
Okay.
Like Bronsky or something. And they're like, yeah, no, Rothrock would be much cooler. So go with that. I've heard.
We'll stick with Rothrock.
So at the end, so that's it, right? Then it's
it fades to black and it's done.
No, it goes to them like doing a wrap up convo in the office.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and they kind of give their badges back as being deputized.
Yeah, the teenagers. Yeah,
yeah, and then they say to Dakota like, "What are your plans now?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know.
We could use a good deputy."
Yeah. And
I think he decides to stay, right?
Yeah, he says I'm going to stick around, but I'm not sure I'm cut out to be a lawman or something like that.
Yeah,
and yeah. And then they say something and freeze frame on Cynthia, on China. Super grainy.
Yeah.
And then that's because the visual optics were coming over the top for as they start playing the credits, rolling the credits. So
yeah. And there you go.
China
O'Brien.
I enjoyed this much better as a 47-year-old man than I did as a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Which is I wanted to see Van Damme split kicks. I didn't get to see that back then, so I was disappointed.
Yeah. No nudity. Very little blood.
Yeah.
I think we only see there's no squibs.
Yeah, when the bad guy gets shot at the end of the movie,
nothing. You see
like,
nothing.
Yeah, you're like, did he get shot? I'm assuming he got shot there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he gets knocked over and it knocks Matt over too because he's fucking handcuffed to the guy.
But there's no blood or anything, so we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
but
maybe we'll find out in number 2. Pretty decent, dude.
I know.
I thought it was pretty fun.
So other,
pretty fun
because I know way too much about this stuff, and this is my problem. It's my burden. It's your burden. The guy who directed this is a guy named Robert Klaus.
Okay.
Robert Klaus was the guy who directed Enter the Dragon.
Really?
Yeah. So he had quite a once he did that movie, Golden Harvest in Hong Kong, they kept coming back to him. And he kind of got well known for making these martial arts movies all the way up. I think he passed away in the 90s, but and I think China O'Brien 2 is his last movie. I could be wrong.
Okay.
If it's not, it's like his second to last. He did Enter the Dragon. He did Game of Death, which was finishing an unfinished Bruce Lee movie. He did Battle Creek Brawl.
Okay.
Apparently he loves his Battle Creek because he named that bar in here Battle Creek.
Beaver Creek.
God bless it. Battle Creek.
You're trying to connect two dots that don't connect.
Yeah, sorry. Fuck, my bad. Battle Creek Brawl, which is also known as the Big Brawl. That's Bruce Lee's Jackie Chan's first American movie.
Okay.
That's Robert Klaus.
Yeah.
He also did Hot Potato, which is Jim Kelly, one of the guys in Enter the Dragon.
Okay.
Blaxploitation flick. He was like the Black Bruce Lee is what they had him at the time, Jim Kelly.
I think I remember you telling me about that, yeah.
He directed that. He directed Jim Kata.
Oh.
Which is legendary, where it's it's not gymnastics and it's not karate, it's Jim Kata, right?
Yeah.
He did that movie. I mean, fucking Robert Klaus did some batshit weird martial arts stuff. Like he kept like going through the years, and then towards the end of it, he got China O'Brien 1 and 2.
Yeah,
that they shot at the same time.
Well, and it's very competent, dude. It's a very competent movie. Like a lot of the times you watch these like straight to video movies, especially the ones from the 80s too, and sometimes they're just, it's just a slog to get through it, man. Even though you're only talking about like, even like at 80 minutes.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's fucking goes on forever.
Yeah.
And it's such a time suck.
Yeah,
but
finally
this one was
said
super fun.
You said at some point you're like, this has got to wrap up in like 15 minutes, right?
And it did.
Yeah. It's like they knew exactly like, okay, they're not gonna have much more patience, so we got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Totally. They know.
Totally.
All right.
I mean, the fight scenes were fun. Everything about this movie was fucking fun.
It's like, it's super corny, super ridiculous, but has a childlike quality to it that is like it's very fun.
Yeah. So get your kids, get your family together. Maybe fast forward through the weird fucking lady tied up in the bedroom scene.
Yeah.
But you know, get the kids.
Lots of denim in here too.
A lot of denim.
Like Richard Norton loves himself a Canadian tuxedo.
Oh,
man.
and he had this fucking jacket on at the funeral. That was just unbelievable.
They're at a funeral outside. Everyone's in suits.
Everybody's in black suits. Fucking Teacher Matt's there in like this weird ass leather half duster jacket. Like it wasn't as long as a duster.
But it had the same like shoulder.
But it had kind of the same shoulder things going on and stuff. It was very Australian.
Fucking awesome.
Very 80s Aussie.
Really awesome, man.
Yeah. See, this movie fucking rocks.
Richard Norton, I think, should have been a bigger deal. He shows up in quite a few. I think he's in Gymkata. I'm pretty sure he's in Gymkata.
He looks really familiar.
Yeah. He's been in a ton of stuff. I think there was another movie that he did that Robert Klaus did that's called Force of 5, and he's one of the 5. But Richard Norton, man, what a badass that dude was.
Yeah, totally. If you want to see Ringo Starr kick some serious ass,
Ringo Starr.
Fucking rent this movie.
Fucking wrecking people, dude.
How many Blu Its you give this?
Oh shit, man. I'm gonna go ahead and fuck it. I'm gonna give it 4.
Oh, I was
Fuck
gonna.
it.
I'm even going. I'm going higher than that, man. I'm giving it 5.
Oh fuck, 5
I
Blu Its, man.
loved it. I
All
loved
right.
it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so fun.
Good.
Yeah, man. Not enough nut shots though.
No.
Sorry. There are so many chances for a good nut shot.
I mean, she
like
did.
where she could just kick some dude square in the balls.
Well, I think,
and they don't do it.
I think Cynthia's such a badass that she's just.
She doesn't need
like,
to.
She's like, you're giving me your nut shot, but I ain't gonna take it, so I don't need it.
Yeah.
She does give one dude a real nut shot. I think it's in the.
It's in the first bar scene. Right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. All right, bud.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
did it.
We
did it.
I don't know if there's any memorable dialogue other than like the shit that's
not
ADR'd
really.
in. Get that bitch, or it started a fire. Oh.
Cut, print.